This is going to be a tough one, ladies and gentlemen. I may cry during this video. I may fall on my knees and scream at the sky. Why didn't I buy Palantir? Why didn't I buy Tesla? Why didn't I buy clown stock that just goes up because the words AI are mentioned at a meeting? Why am I so stupid to buy Alibaba? Alibaba! Welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. So it's been a... Hello? Put that boy to bed. Anyway, we got to talk about Alibaba. Because if y'all remember, I actually invested, and I still am invested, in Alibaba stock. It is currently roughly 2% of my portfolio, something like that. But I did make an investment in Alibaba. And after I bought the stock, it went down. And people came on my channel and they roasted me and they called me a moron and an idiot and a clown and a hypocrite because I put 2% of my portfolio in an individual stock. But we got to revisit this whole catastrophe. Okay, we got to revisit this whole incident, this whole disaster that I participated in. Am I a fraud? Am I a loser? Am I a moron that doesn't know how to buy individual stocks? I don't know. Only time will tell. Now, what was my motivation to buy Alibaba? Well, here's what I saw. When I was looking at this company back in the day, I saw massive, insane growth, okay? Nobody can deny that Alibaba, at least until recently, was growing pretty incredibly. I mean, look at this year-over-year growth, 56, 58, 50, 35, 40, 18. But it's slowed down massively, okay? But previously, this company had amazing growth. Now, if you look at its margins, oh my God, its margins were absolutely incredible. They had gross margins in the 40s, the 50s, amazing gross margins, insane operating margins, insane free cash flow yields. But there's been a little issue, okay? Well, there's been many issues with Alibaba. The first one is just looking at it from a fundamental level. If I was to pull up this stock now without ever having even thought about it in the slightest, the first thing I would say is, wow, something incredible happened to their revenue. Their revenue growth rate has absolutely collapsed, okay? Looking at this, it appears this is no longer a growth stock. What could have caused this? I don't know, okay? Revenue is massively collapsed. Profit margins are contracting. Look at that. Gross margin going down. Steady trend line down. I could draw a freaking straight line. Gross margin going down. Operating margin going straight down. Well, not straight down, but you get my drift. At a 45-degree angle. Profit margin going down. Every single type of profit margin, everything is going down, okay? So while people may say, oh, Baba, it's you don't own the stock and this and that, there is a fundamental reason, I believe, there's a partial fundamental reason why this stock has continued to get absolutely pummeled. Now, of course, there's big macro issues, obviously, but there is a fundamental problem. But when I first started looking at this company, I saw incredible growth rates. And to be perfectly honest, I did not anticipate the absolute collapse in revenue growth rates, margins, et cetera, et cetera. I thought their economy would lock down, they would reopen, and then it would rebound massively. That was my first thought process was, I kept hearing all these things of, the Chinese economy's dead and they're never going to reopen and the lockdowns are going to last forever. They're going to be locked down until 2055. And I sat there and I said, I think that's absolute BS. A logical person would never lock down their economy for a decade, 2 decades because of a virus. Okay. Now, China obviously locked down their economy a lot longer than other countries, but they're not going to be locked down forever. Okay. And I believed, and I still believe at some point, revenue growth rates will potentially come back. Now, there's other issues. Obviously, there's the whole real estate crisis. Nobody really knows what's going on with the real estate crisis, okay? You hear about the collapse of China, right? You pull up YouTube and you type in China collapse, and what do? You get Peter Zehan, or whatever his freaking name is. You get Graham Stephan. You get, there's I think a Business Basics. There's all these different channels. All you do is hear terrible, horrible things about China, okay? What do you hear? You hear they're about to collapse because of a real estate crisis. Everybody's got their money in real estate, and it's a massive bubble. You hear that the demographics are horrible. The demographics are about to collapse. It's just a nonstop onslaught of negative news. Oh, you don't own the stock. It's a shell company in the Cayman Islands. But that didn't matter before when the stock was going up. All you hear is terrible, 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 terrible things. And I sat there and I said, okay, there are probably some bad things going on in China, obviously. Obviously, China has its issues. Every country has its issues. But is what I'm seeing on YouTube and on the TV, is that reality or is that a doctored view of reality? Is there some element of truth and some element of absolute BS in all of this stuff that you see? I still believe when you go through and you read all these articles and you see all these things about the impending collapse of China, it's all BS, okay? Or it's at least partially BS. Why do I say that? China is the United States' number one geopolitical enemy. They're the second largest economy in the world, and they have 1.4 billion people. And they have the potential to compete with the United States, okay? People don't believe me. Well, I think a lot of people would agree with that. They're a massive competitor of United States. That's why we have all these trade wars and everything. Oh, all these tensions with China. It's because they're a rising superpower, and we're the current dominant superpower. Of course, there's going to be drama, which that happens with every single superpower that rises up. It rises up. There's a war. The war ends, and then we go back to normal. But when you look at this stuff, I think there is an element of propaganda in what you're seeing on here. Call me crazy, call me a communist, but I try to see the world in a more realistic standpoint. Is everything you're hearing on here true? Is their population about to collapse to zero? Are they all going to go? Is the Chinese going extinct? Is their whole economy going to collapse? There's nothing they can do about it. No. Why do I believe that? Well, I believe most economies, people tend to recover. Economies tend to recover over time. You have catastrophes. You have hard times. Economies recover. Remember the global financial crisis, the Great Recession? Remember that? 2007, 2008, 2009. Guess what happened? We had a massive real estate crisis in the United States. We basically almost destroyed the global economy. Okay, because all these different banks in the United States owned all these crappy mortgages bundled up in these mortgage-backed securities, and all these banks had bets against each other with credit default swaps, betting on whether bonds would default or not. It was a massive web of catastrophe, and we almost melted down the world. The United States did. What happened after the global financial crisis? Oh, our stock market just went up in a straight freaking 45-degree angle for the next, 13 years. It's still going up since the great financial crisis, okay? Doesn't mean what's happening in China is the same thing. And to be perfectly honest, I don't know exactly what's happening in China. I don't think anybody except the Chinese government actually knows what's actually going on in China. We can guess, we can speculate, but we have no idea. But the whole point is, I don't think China is done. I don't think China is going to zero. I think people are being way too catastrophic with that. I think at some point, China's economy will recover. I really believe that, okay? I could be totally wrong, but it's a gamble. When I see something like this, when I see massive propaganda, when I see everybody hating on companies like Alibaba and JD, every negative possible thing they can talk about is talked about with those companies. To me, it's enticing. It's like an enticing gamble. It's like, there's some element of truth, but I think there's some element of BS in these, what people are saying right now, at least for now. But with Alibaba, I'm down 37%. My average is 134, and the stock is currently trading at 84. But what I don't understand is people, they basically say, oh, this was a horrible investment. I've held this stock for a year and a half. That is not a time frame to judge an investment, okay? Would you say the people that bought Tesla are geniuses because the stock went up? No, I think they're gambling clowns. I think the story of Tesla is that bubble will eventually pop, and I think a lot of clowns are going to lose a lot of money. I don't know exactly when, but it could happen. Baba could recover, and it could go up massively at some point in the future. It's 2023. I bought this in 2022. This is not over as an investment. Baba hasn't gone bankrupt, okay? It ain't going bankrupt. It's a massive commerce platform in China, a country of 1.4 billion people, okay? I don't think this company is dead. This isn't Tattooed Chef, okay? Sure, it could be delisted. Sure, the Chinese government could, confiscate everything. But I still believe the Chinese aren't that. I don't think they're stupid people. I think they're very clever people. Okay. I do think they are long-term focused. And how do you, as the Chinese government, defeat the United States? I think you have a powerful economy. A powerful economy is the key ingredient to ruling the world or accomplishing your geopolitical goals. Fielding a large army, having a strong, wealthy citizenry. It's all about wealth. Okay. What are the Chinese going to do? Just destroy every single company that generates wealth in their country? That would destroy their geopolitical ambitions. You want a wealthy country. You want enormous wealth because you can tap into that wealth and use that to exert your influence around the world. Why do you think the United States can exert its influence everywhere? Because we spend like $800 billion a year on our military. Okay. How do we do that? Oh, we have a powerful economy. So I just refuse to believe that the Chinese government is just going to destroy their companies. I find it hard to believe. Slap them on the wrist? Yes. Show them who's boss? Yes. But destroy their companies? I don't believe so. So I'm not trying to encourage you to buy Alibaba. You are taking a massive risk because number one, it's an individual stock. Okay. That's why I keep it to less than 5% of my portfolio. It's like 2% of my portfolio. I thought it was more, but I've actually been buying a lot of VT recently. And I've actually stopped buying BABA because I thought I was going over 5%. I was not. I'm not trying to encourage you to buy the stock. I'm not saying that the stock's going to 10x. I don't know. But to say that, you're such an idiot and, Baba's, why would you buy that stock? Just buy Tesla. Just buy large cap US tech. Strong man, just buy large cap US tech stocks. It's like, no, it's already in VT. It's the top holdings of VT. That's so lame to me. If I want to speculate, in my opinion, for me, this is where I want to speculate, okay? Because there is a chance that this works out for me, okay? Maybe the tensions cool down. Maybe the Chinese economy isn't going to zero. Maybe there's massive, insane pessimism baked into Chinese stocks that may change at some point. I don't know. And when it does, am I going to brag? Maybe. I don't know what I'm going to do. But this investment is not over, okay? But when people see a stock go down, they automatically, it's trash, it's never coming back. And they don't have the patience. They want to be rewarded instantly or within a few months. And if the stock doesn't go up within a few months, you're like, see, it was a bad investment. There's been plenty of companies that have dropped massively and in the long run have massively outperformed the market, okay? Go look. There's not 100. There's lots of examples of companies that have dropped massively and have gone on to outperform the global market. 110%. So no, I'm not giving up on Alibaba. Do the fundamentals look good? No, they look like trash. Like recently? No, they look absolutely horrible. And some people, I knew the revenue was going to go from a 33% compounded or growth rate to 2% or to flat. I don't think most people actually knew how bad the whole situation was in China to have these kind of growth rates. And you know what's really funny is people say there's so much fraud in China and you can't trust the numbers. If they were committing fraud, why would they have such crappy numbers? If they were committing fraud in their financial statements, if I was committing fraud, I would bump those numbers up, man. 2% year-over-year growth rate, that's garbage. Collapsing margins, I would pump those up. But yeah, they're all fraud. You can't trust it, okay? So no, I'm not giving up on Alibaba. I'm not buying more. I mean, if I was an individual stock picker and I had all my portfolio in individual stocks, maybe I would keep nibbling and lower my cost basis. But at a certain point, it's like you got to accept that you could be wrong, which I could 100% be wrong. Maybe China has peaked. Maybe the demographic situation is so bad that it never recovers. Maybe we go to war with China. Maybe they invade Taiwan and the stock gets delisted. Maybe all the fears about everything with China are 100% correct and everything's going to go to crap. Could be true. And if I'm wrong, I don't want to lose my shirt. And I'm not going to. Baba's not going to make me rich, but it's not going to make me poor either. It was a speculation play, okay? I could buy large cap tech. All you clowns, you think you're so smart because you just buy large cap tech. I know it went up a lot, okay? And you just buy the dip and then it goes up again. That's how everybody's been rewarded for the past 15 years. US large cap tech, it goes up a lot. When it dips, you buy the dip, and then it goes back up a lot. I'm not going to speculate on large cap US tech. It's just boring. Like, this is like fun to me. Okay, this is a real gamble. You think you're buying Microsoft, like looking at Joseph Carlson's stupid portfolio. Oh, I got all the largest stocks in the index, QQQ in my portfolio. Now, funny enough, people talk about like the population implosion of China, and they're talking about the population pyramid. What people don't understand is there's still a lot of people in China. So I pulled up this article from the HSBC. There's 400 million millennials in China. Oh, that's made up. There's only like 400 million millennials in China. That's more than the population of the United States. China still dwarfs us. Even if they have a bad population pyramid, there's a lot of people in China, okay? And if you're investing based on a population pyramid, you would invest in the most garbage countries in the world, like actual war-torn countries with no government and no laws, okay? At a certain point, you have to have like laws, to invest in a country. If you invest based on population pyramid, you might as well stay away from the United States because, trust me, our birth rates aren't that great either. It's only immigration that's been propping us up, and if immigration slows down, you'd stay. Asia has a big population problem. Europe has basically every developed country in the world has a pretty crappy population pyramid, except for like Israel. Okay, but what country is going to produce more GDP, Israel or China? I don't know. Okay, maybe China, but you got to put all this into context. 400 million millennials in China. Does that prove anything? No. Could Baba still be a crappy investment? Yes. But you got to put all this stuff into context. Oh, it's population implosion. It's over. China's dead. Number one geopolitical enemy. I wonder why there's so much negative propaganda about it. So you look at the Chinese economy's growth rate. Obviously, like the growth rate has massively slowed down. The lockdowns, the whole real estate issue, of course, it's hurt their growth rates. Okay. But I think at some point, the Chinese government is going to say, you know what? We can't just let our country's economy go to crap. We have to do something. We have to do some quantitative easing or something, or stimmy checks to get our economy fixed. Because if you want to beat if I was the Chinese, trust me, I'd be like, I want a big, strong economy. I want a powerful economy. And I'm going to do whatever I have to do to make it happen. I'm not going to destroy all my businesses. I'm not going to destroy my economy. Because, communism. Yeah, they're communists with the stock market and billionaires. Oh, they're communists. Yeah. Okay. Such a joke. Okay. So, I mean, like, obviously you can look at the Chinese. I don't know where this is going to go. I have no idea how fast their GDP per capita is going to grow. Okay. But their GDP per capita is a lot lower than the United States. Okay. A lot. And I think they have a lot more room to grow, in my personal opinion. Okay. You look at the Hang Seng Index over the past 5 years, it's down 32%. Now, people in this, the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, people look at this and they say, well, it went down. It went down. Why would you buy this? Because it went down when you could buy something like this. If it actually works. What's wrong with my keyboard? I think my keyboard might be jacked up. Something like the S&P 500. Let's see if we can pull it up here. QQQ. Why would you buy the Hang Seng when you could buy QQQ, bro? I mean, this is the most obvious thing. This went up 117% in 5 years. And the Hang Seng, I wonder if there's an index on here. Hang Seng. We'll look at the tech ETF. Let's see what happened to this one. It's down massively. So I can see why retail hates Alibaba. And I think a lot of the big institutions they're like, I don't want anything. We're going to sit out and wait to see what happens. We're out of here. So I think obviously that's a big reason why the stock price is down. But I'm not selling the stock because it went down and it's gone through a rough patch. Okay. Now, if it's like 2030 and the stock is still trading at $84, okay, and the freaking revenue has gone down. Like if I see revenue start going down and down and down and down, and just every single quarter it gets worse and worse and worse, and margins get worse and worse and worse, and it starts to like pack on debt. Like, okay, yeah, maybe I made a huge mistake. But in my opinion, it's too early to give up on this. That's my whole thought process. Okay, you can say, "Oh, you don't understand, do you know all the details, every single detail about Alibaba?" No, I don't live in China. Okay, my whole thought process about Alibaba, very strong company that is getting a lot of negative attention. That's basically the underlying thesis behind it. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll just buy I should have just bought large cap tech. And I'm not saying large cap tech, you should avoid it. There's nothing wrong with large cap US tech. But for a speculation, I don't understand why I would buy large cap tech, which is already a huge part of VT. Let's see if I can pull VT up on here. VT. Let's see if it actually shows the holdings. Oh, VT went down. It's a bad investment. Buy Tesla, bro. Okay, well, let's look at the largest holdings in VT. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, Google, Meta, US dollar. Hello? It's inflation. Yeah, you guys are so smart and cool, and you're so original buying large cap tech. You know what? I'm just going to be like you guys. I'm just going to be a good investor. When large cap tech dips, I'm going to buy the dip, and that's it. It's easy, bro. I'm going to buy calls on Nvidia. It's easy, bro. And if you're investing in VTI, right? Let's say you don't like US or international stocks because they went down recently, because that's how you should invest. Look at the weightings of the US market. Apple's 6.5%. Like, I see people's portfolios, and they're just like, they have like VTI, and they have Shada, and they have VOO, and then they have individual stocks that are just the largest stocks in the index. It's like, it's all clownish. Look at every retail investor's portfolio, the vast majority of them. What do they have? Where's the herd at? Large cap US tech. Okay? But I get it. Next time, I learned my lesson, guys. I will only buy large cap US tech stocks because that's what good investors do. Okay? You don't buy stuff that goes down. You buy stuff that went up a lot recently. All right, let's roast me in the comments. Sharp haircut. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not. I think I look pretty good. See, when I was dating, like, I would always get a haircut like this, to pick up the chicks. Now that I'm married with kids, I just don't cut my hair anymore. But I was in my parents' house, and my wife was like, "You need a haircut, Christopher." So I went to a marine barber, got my hair cut. It was only like $11. Not bad. Don't get used to it. Why have you not made Strong Baby 3 with Strong Woman yet? We'll see about that. Maybe in a couple of years. CCP clown stock. Let's see. The Chinese yuan is being massively devalued. I mean, currencies fluctuate. I don't know where currency is going to go in the future. The dollar's been insanely strong, recently, the past couple of years, but it's so hard to predict where currency is going to go. Like, the dollar could be strong, and then everybody's like, "Oh, see, the dollar is really strong, so you should only just hold US dollars, bro." And then 10 years from now, the situation could be totally different. I don't know. I don't try to guess where currency is going to go. I have no idea where currency is going to go. Let's see. Boeing isn't making any money either. How is that relevant, boy? I made more than Sony 2 years in a row than Sony 2 years in a row. We all did. Amazon growth rate got crushed too. Pandemic effect. Bob will get better soon. Still have my 150 shares. No, look, Manuel, whatever your name is, Manuel, you need to buy large cap US tech. If you don't, like every other retail investor or Palantir or SoFi, then you're an idiot. Like, there's no possible way this investment could ever work out. China lies on their numbers. Don't sell land to CCP or its citizens. Keep America. Like, do you guys realize, like, how interconnected we are with China? Like, we are. What is our GDP? Let's go look at our GDPs real quick. GDP by country. I don't know how recent this is. Okay, so the U.S.'s GDP, according to this. How old is this? Is this 2023? Okay. The two big daddies are the United States and China. I mean, I guess you can count the EU, but the EU is not really, it's not united like China is. Okay, China's like basically one ethnic group almost. It's a lot. Basically, they're all the same, basically. I mean, obviously there's like minorities in China, but the EU is like totally different. It's like a bunch of different countries and cultures. They're all smashed together. And then the Southern Europeans are a bunch of clowns. Like, I mean, I guess, but the EU, I think, does have a higher GDP. But overall, I mean, China and the US are the two big daddies on the block. Okay. I mean, you can't deny that. Let's see. China. What do they say about China? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Whatever. Interesting stuff. So there you have it. But they're lying about their numbers. Yeah, they only have 20 people in China. Yeah, everything's a lie. Everything's fake. I've been to China. You know, I went to China like a year ago. They paid for my ticket, and I went over there, and they put me on the TV. No, I'm just kidding. But I visited China when I was a kid. And I remember smog. But it's pretty developed. I mean, it's not like a crap hole like I think people imagine it is. Look at the growth projections of Amazon over the next 2 years, 170% versus 10%. Of course, the projections are higher for Amazon. It's a U.S. stock, bro. Baba's still cheaper. Baba delicious, but I want some 10 cent. Hope it goes back to down to 25. Great work, brother. That was, I mean, I remember seeing the stocks like when Baba was plunging. I think it went down to like, what, 58? I was like, this is just insane panic. Like it was almost like meta, you know, obviously there's differences. I don't want to offend people, but I was like, this is like meta. Like the stock's just massively crashing every day. People 10% down here, 10% down there. Everybody's freaking out. I remember 10 cent. I remember looking at 10 cent. It was like $25. I'm like, ooh, I don't know, man. I avoid Bob because CCP is doing their best to jack it up. We'll see if that changes. I bought Tesla in 2018. It was a huge loss 1 year after my look. I'm being dead serious here. I'm not saying Baba will work out, but what I am saying is you cannot judge an investment based on fluctuations. If you believe in your thesis and it hasn't changed, and the stock goes down 50%, I mean, you could be wrong. Number one, but number two, you could just be wrong temporarily, and you could be right in the long run. You just have to be patient. That was my thought process. It's like, when I see a stock that I think is cheap, I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to hold it. I'm going to see what happens. And unless something fundamentally changes, I'm not going to sell it. So yeah, but people like, they really want to buy a stock, and they want it to go up. And if it doesn't go up quickly in a straight line, then it's a bad investment. That's why I think people should index, man, because I think most people really don't have the guts to buy individual stocks, like actually be investors. Nice bull case, but you won't pour a single dollar into it to average down. Makes no sense. Dude, I've already put like thousands of dollars into it. Like, I don't need to keep buying a stock. Like, I'm not Jeremy Lefebvre, okay? I don't have this like such a great ego that I don't acknowledge I could be wrong. I could 100% be wrong. I don't dispute that. So I'm not going to keep buying Baba over and over and over just to prove that I'm right. Because I could also just buy VT and max my tax advantage accounts. But some people, they have a big ego. Oh, there's no way I'm wrong. Strongman, we need you to start stock picking. I will sign up for your large cap tech, baby. Oh, baby. Charlie, you don't think I know how to grift? I know how the grift works. Large cap tech US dips by the dip. It's that easy. I'm telling you, look at most retail's portfolios. It's large cap tech. Let's see. CCP already broke Baba into quite a few pieces, probably in order to fleece it easier. Like I said, I don't believe that they're just going to continue to destroy their companies. I think Jack Ma was a clown for what he did. He basically hurt his company pretty massively. Have you looked at the cash balance of Baba? It's insane. I have not recently. Stocks are getting at their all-time high despite rising interest rates. I'd rather park some of my money in China. I mean, you don't want to go all in China. You don't want to go all in any country. You never want to do that. But from a fundamental standpoint, China is cheap because there's massive fear baked in. But the fear could be justified. So you don't want to go, America's expensive, so I'm selling all my U.S. stocks and I'm buying China. No, you can just buy everything at market cap weights and let it sort itself out over time. It's the beauty of total world investing. You can't go wrong. You can't lose. Let's see. Strongman, am I going to brag? Maybe. If it goes up to like, there's so many people crapping on it. It would be glorious. Like if it goes to like $400 in the next couple of years, and I just like absolutely can just take a dump on a bunch of people. But what would really make me happy is if Tesla goes down and Baba goes up. That would be if I'm looking at my screen in like 2026 and Baba's up massively and Tesla's down massively. That would be beautiful. That would be just I would love it. That'd make me a very happy man. When you buy shares of Baba, you basically buy a big cash file with a free company attached to it. Yeah, but China's going to just destroy all their companies, bro. You know, that's what I would do if I wanted to rule the world. Let's see. I thought China, they're splitting up into a couple different companies. I think they're spinning off a bunch of their, subsidiary companies. Strong, what are your thoughts on the Motley? Full garbage. They give 2 stock, but ignore it. No. Buy an index fund. You don't need... Look, the stock picking thing, it's like almost like Lefebvre. They're clowns. 95% index funds, tax advantage accounts, 5% for fun. Don't pay for that garbage. I mean, if you want to pay for it for fun, okay. But don't use them like, don't let them model your portfolio. Let's see. Your barber should be charged with fraud. This is not a bad haircut. I like it. I'm not going to do it again because I don't like paying $11, but let's see. Are we doing the same? We are just doing it much slower, trying to put the country in lockdown. They're like, oh, the fundamentals are collapsing. Their whole country was locked down, but it's never going to come back. They're going to be locked down. Like I heard people say they're going to be locked down forever. I'm like, they're not going to be locked down forever. It's like when I hear stuff like that, it's like something doesn't add up here. Like people they're too pessimistic in my opinion. Maybe I'm just an optimist. Everything will work out. Baba has still to exercise its buyback program. Yeah, they should start buying. What are they doing? U.S. got access to the audit data. Baba will not be. I remember tracking that, and the last thing I read about it was I remember the PCAOB sent inspectors to inspect the public accounting firms in Hong Kong, and the results of the inspection were that this was like a long time ago. Were that there were some deficiencies with the work papers, but it wasn't like they didn't discover massive fraud, basically. So I was like, yeah, I was basically right. Like people are like, oh, everything's fake in China. It's not. I've already lost my shirt. Naked George Costanza. Baba will fill the gap, buy more. I'm done buying, to be honest. Welcome back, Strong. Unless I started making like insane amounts of money. Like I was making $300K a year. I'd be like, okay, I'll throw a couple thousand into this and that for fun. But I'm trying to max my tax advantage accounts. I just got access to my employer's 401k. Woo, baby. My next paycheck, I'm putting like $950 into my 401k. I'm happy. I'm excited. Let's see. It's immoral to invest in China. You're not a real American if you decide... Like, I don't invest based on morality. You think I care about morality when I'm investing? I'm here to make freaking money. I'm not some liberal. If you want to be moral, go invest in some stupid ESG fund. What is this, Bubba? What's up, man? How you been? Jeremy? Yeah, Jeremy beat the S&P 500. Of course he did. Obviously, Jeremy Lefebvre isn't a lying, fraudulent piece of trash. Of course he beat the S&P 500. He's a genius. And people believe it? Bro, even I don't touch any Chinese stuff. That's fine. Why don't you double down on Baba? Because I don't want to. I could buy VT, or I could keep buying Baba. I mean, like, Baba could be an attractive investment, but like I said, I don't want to dump huge sums of money into one stock. Let's see. Strongman, where's Mike's status now? Is he still on YouTube? Nah, he got deleted because he's a piece of trash. I don't get why people liked him. Like, I never understood it. He's this guy. He never shows his face. He claims that everybody knows who he is secretly. He claims he's the best investor in the world. He lives in Thailand. He's a nobody. But he's this guy saying he's the best investor in the world, best analyst in the world, or whatever he says. And then he shows charts of how he literally timed every time. Like, he showed a chart of the S&P 500 or Dow Jones or something. And he basically said that he timed the top and bottom of every single peak and trough of the Dow Jones. Like, up and down. Like, he can time it to the day, is what he's implying. It's like, no, this guy's fake, obviously. And then he threatens to sue me. Okay, bussy boy. Then he starts defaming me. He's just like, he's such a huge liar. Like, what a freaking loser. Living in Thailand, not showing his face like a bussy. Shada for life. His Baba so incident have no impact on his financials whatsoever. That is true. Now, if it does go up pretty massively, I'll sell it, and then I'll put it in VT. Like, I don't know what else I'm gonna do with it. Let's see. Maybe I'll use that to pay for a China trip one day. Keep that Chad here. Or rather, buy VT. This is $11 of VT I can never buy. Thank you, sir. $1. What happens if they delist Baba? Do you still own the company? You just I think it goes to pink sheets. I really don't know, to be perfectly honest. Let's see. When was the last time Strong Woman gave you a good a woman beat me? Let's see. It's a license and registration. Join me on the dark side, Strongman. Dividends will never let you down like Baba. I'm tempted, man. I'm tempted to sell Baba and buy Shada. Wouldn't that be a turnaround? Wouldn't that be a plot twist? Let's see. That's the I have benefits. I do. I am in the military. I got TRICARE, man. Hey, Strongman, did your boys Jay, Noggy, and Cole buy some Tesla when it went down? I remember both of them saying when it was close, they would buy it there. I don't think they did. You got to ask them. 90% in VT, 10% in Tesla. I mean, I'm not happy with that, but honestly, that's probably the best portfolio I've seen on YouTube. Besides mine, of course. I mean, I've seen worse portfolios. Let's see. Baba sucks by Shopify. All you clowns will be left with crumbs if you aren't buying JD Baba down here. You've been warned. You're going to be poor if you don't buy Baba. Not only are you going to miss gains, you're going to be poor if you don't buy it. Let's see. I'm going to wrap this up soon. I've been diamond holding videos since 27, up a lot now. When do you decide to cash out? Honestly, like, I don't know. I really don't know. I have no idea. I haven't even thought about it. I mean, I've been down massively. Yeah, as if the U.S. is so. Look, China's horrible. The U.S. is perfect. Buy large cap U.S. tech stocks and VTI. There you go. Buy my course. What price are you giving up on, Bob? It's not a price. I would give up if I kept seeing the fundamentals continue to deteriorate and China's economy just absolutely implodes. Every quarter it gets worse. GDP starts going negative. Revenue growth rate goes negative. Margins collapse. Okay, at this point, like there may be some serious issues. Maybe I underestimated how bad it really is in China. But it's not a price thing. Let's see. Nice pure macro versus take video versus roast. However, granular, a little sparse, good pivot. Don't get used to it. I don't read macro. I'm not a macro reader. I'm an accountant. On JD, hoping to get loaded on the cheap. I call bottom and stock. I mean, you might make some money. But if the fundamentals they've deteriorated in the past couple of years. Whether it's a permanent thing or because of the lockdowns, we don't know. That's the question. But the fundamentals have deteriorated. Revenue growth rate's down massively. Margins have collapsed. It's not looking great. If it continues like this, where the growth is anemic, it's garbage, and it never starts growing again like it was before, or even close to it, maybe it was a bad investment. There's cheap. Yes, there is. And you know what I find hilarious? This is so funny to me. Doesn't NVIDIA have a bunch of like business in China? Doesn't Tesla have a freaking factory in China? All these companies that these clowns shill all have business in China. You notice all the CEOs of the tech companies were going to China and meeting with Xi Jinping? I wonder why. China's bad. Tesla's a freaking factory in China. Hey, Strongman, I do agree with your psychology about index funds. No one looks at them, so it doesn't trigger an emotional response, either good or bad. Yeah, I just wish more people would consider them. Let's see. Remember when Jeremy was looking to find his Charlie Munger? Let's see. God, there's so many freaking emails or comments. Are you going to respond to my business email? I'll check. I don't know if you. Actually, I think I did read your email. I'll email you back. Let's see. I've been so busy. Let's see. Strongman, $11 is a steal. It wasn't a bad deal. I was shocked. I was like, wow, $11. I thought it'd be like 20 or something. Let's see. John Anthony Lifestyle. Oh, God. Man, what a clown. Almost all of NVIDIA's chips are made in Taiwan. It's just so funny to me. Like, everybody craps on China, and then, like, most of their companies have huge connections to China. It's like, if China goes down or there's a war, like, you're getting screwed too. I hope you know that. Let's see. Jeremy has the best portfolio, growth, value, dividend, which is... If you notice, like, so he talked about beating the S&P 500. I'll react to that at some point. But he gives a very simplistic explanation of how to beat it. It's for stupid people. Growth, value, and dividend stocks. Like, that's a guide to beat the S&P 500. That's a portfolio. What does that even mean? Growth, value, dividends. What does that mean? Can somebody explain to me? How am I going to build a portfolio based on GVD? That's just simplistic garbage that he tries to act like he's sophisticated and smart because he's got the GVD 1, 2, 3 strategy. Just buy an index fund. Like, I don't know why you have to complicate things or buy individual stocks. The NASDAQ is crushing China. The proof that underperformance in the past doesn't necessarily mean overperformance in the future. That's true. That is 100% true. That is 100% true. However, I don't like massive outperformance over long periods of time because I really think it's the bubble effect. People buy the things, and this, I think even Wall Street does this. They buy stuff that goes up a lot. And what has gone up the most? Large cap US tech. That's had a stellar decade. What's everybody in love with? Large cap tech. What's everybody buying? Large cap tech. I don't know. I mean, obviously it's in VT, but I'm not going to like buy more of it or buy QQQ. I'm not going to overweight the NASDAQ because it went up a lot. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. Let's see. The shocking thing is how fast fund has deteriorated. The tech export controls is killing. I was shocked. I'm being honest. I was shocked how fast the fundamentals deteriorated. I was like, oh my God. They had mass, like they're it was such a strong company. China, I mean, like they really did give the shaft to Baba. But I mean, like I said, my thesis is it's not the end of the world, and I don't think they're going to actually kill their companies. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'll just buy large cap tech like everybody else and have a Patreon. Let's see. All right, guys, I think that's it. I'm going to go watch The Witcher. Have a wonderful night. How much did I make? $3 in super chats. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. All right, last question. What's the name of your new book? Disgusting Grifting Scum and How to Avoid Them. When is it coming out? It's going to be a while. It's going to take me a while to write it. I'm more busy than I was before. I'll put a six months. We'll say 6 months. So Maybe I'll try to get it done before Christmas so you can get your mom my book for Christmas. I'll have a shirtless picture in there for your mom, too. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Cheers.